comparing 6 backpacks to see which one is the best for an upcoming personal item only trip to Disney World for a long weekend.
When shopping for potential backpacks, we had a few criteria in mind. One, they had to be 30 liters or less in capacity. They had to be under $200, and they had to fit a 15.6-inch laptop. You're what?
I was Vanna Whiting the laptop. We don't usually fly basic airlines like Spirit or Frontier, so we didn't worry too much about size. But the backpacks did get bonus points if they met domestic or international measurements. And for being swooshy, which is a technical term for can I cram it under the seat in front of me on the plane. Okay, so first we're going to take a look at the backpack that I've been using. It's the Lovevook 17.3 23-liter backpack. I love this backpack because it's got the nylon exterior, which is really smooth, and so it makes, except for the little V shape right here, it's easy to clean. So when I get zhuzh or something on it from traveling, I usually just wipe it with a Lysol wipe and it comes off pretty easily. This was $50 on Amazon, and I bought that about a year ago, but the pricing's still the same. So we're going to call this $50. So it has a large pocket in the front. It's just an open, empty pocket. The zippers are super smooth on this. It has a larger front pocket that's got kind of an open pocket here. And then hopefully you guys are going to be able to see this. It's got 2 smaller pockets right here and a spot for a pen, which I find always comes in handy. And these 2 front pockets are usually where I store things like my earbuds and anything I'm going to use on the plane. There's a large compartment here, and it's got a zippered compartment here. The large area. Another area where you could put a tablet or something else. This does have some padding here. And then on the interior, it's got 2, I don't know how well you can see this, 2 pockets, one on each side. This one's set up so you can put your portable charger in here, and it's got a USB cord right here. So just for this one, again, it is a USB. So if you need a different connection to charge your phone, just be aware of that. But it's nice to just stick your portable charger in here. And this way, you know your portable charger is with you. Some of the airlines do not like you to put your portable chargers in your carry-on bags in the event that the carry-on bags have to go down and get stowed below. They don't want any of the lithium-ion batteries down there. So I always like to keep it in my personal item bag. And then the other side is just another one of those pockets, but there's nothing there. That's just for stowage. It has a handle up at the top that is padded, and you'll always see, if you see me travel, I'm almost always going to have a hair clip here so I can put my hair up when I'm hot. It has what they consider a security pocket. It's not really secure as far as I'm concerned. It does sit against your back, but having the zipper on the side versus going on the top, I feel like this is a little too easy for somebody to pickpocket. So I never put anything there, or maybe I'll put a couple of bucks there so that somebody thinks they got money from me, and really all my money is somewhere else. It does have some nicely padded straps. The inside of the straps has some aeration, but the back doesn't. So that's one of the cons for me on this backpack, is I don't have a lot of breathability. So if I go somewhere really hot, I've just got this nylon against my back. It does have a trolley strap, and it's got 2 water bottle sections here that are expandable. They can expand out pretty far, actually. The other nice thing I like is that they do have a little slit here. So if the water bottle gets condensation on it, it helps everything getting icky in that water bottle pocket. The other side, as I mentioned, is just that other water bottle pocket. So there's lots and lots of pros for me. The only cons really are there's only a 1-year warranty on this. My other con is this pocket right here. I don't like where they put the zipper. As far as measurements go, this is 20 inches from bottom to the top of the handle. It's a little deconstructed here, but it's about 12 inches. And then if you put something in the water bottle section, you're going to expand it a little bit more. And then that bottom measurement could go out to about 8 inches if you packed it full. So it's gonna fit on most airlines. And the nice part about the deconstructed feeling of this bag is it does have the smooshy that I like. So, all right, let's look at Mike's.
So this is the backpack I've been using for the last about 8 years. This is the Under Armour Storm Hustle. It's a good everyday bag. It's durable, lightweight, to a point where in that time it hasn't any tears or rips, hasn't torn. The zippers are really strong. They've stayed solid the whole time. I've never had to replace anything or repair anything. A couple of cons to note is there's no trolley strap and it's not vented in the back. So it has a pocket in the front down here at the bottom. This one is great for if you had like dirty clothes or shoes or anything like that, or wet, that you didn't want to get mixing with any of your other clothes. It looks small, but it actually opens up into the rest of the actual compartment. So I guess that if this has got stuff in it, there's less space in the bigger compartment. There's a small little pocket right here, which really is large enough to fit something the size of a passport in here. The next one is the larger pocket, sort of mid-sized pocket. It's open, but it has 2 small pouches in it and one of these little tethers, so you can hook something there if you need keys or whatever you need to put there. But a couple small pouches, you put some items you need, and then the rest is an open space. Now, the largest pocket right here is large enough to fit everything else, but once again, if this front pocket is being used, it's going to take less room up in here, or you're going to have less room available. But there's also a padded back section where you can slide your laptop. It has a handle strap right there. Has a couple of good straps on the back. They're well padded, and they work very well. It has 2 water bottle pockets, 1 and 2, and they're both, as you can see, they're mesh. I have a water bottle right here. Check it out. Fits right in there, no problem. So let's check the size on this. This one, dimensions-wise, is 17. Oh, hold on. Let's get that right. Sorry, 19 by, looks to be about 13. By stretched out here, you're looking at 7. So 19 by 13 by 7, which many airlines that would fit on under the seat. Newer version of this bag is going for around $50 on Amazon. Let's see who the contenders are and which one may or may not replace this bag. So the first contender in our next backpack to purchase is the Cotopaxi 30-liter Chiquillo backpack. This one was about $110 on Amazon. First, there is a front pocket that is basically just an open space. You could throw anything you want in there. The second one, which is the main one, which is at the top, Opens up really nice. But it is just an big open space. It has an area you can put a tablet, a zippered pouch that you can put pretty much anything you want in there. One of these tethers, if you needed to hold something along with it, is inside that pouch. It also has a couple of little sections to put smaller items and a couple of these places you can put pens. The laptop pouch or section is right here. It is padded really well on both sides, so that's good, and very large. You look at the size of that. Oh my goodness. So that's good. It has a carry handle. The straps, the back straps are padded, and it has one of these, I'm going to call it front strap, so that you can hook it around your chest if you needed to. I suppose if you wore it for a while, you'd still sweat a little bit. But it does have this mesh here, so that's nice. It does have 2 places for water bottles. One on this side, right here, and one on the second, right there. I will say a couple things it doesn't have, a couple of cons. It doesn't have the trolley sleeve. It also doesn't have any kind of security pocket. Let's go ahead and let's measure it. Now I'm going to include the strap, which is pretty much right at the very top in this case. If I include the strap, it comes up to 19 inches from top to bottom. The width, or the height was 19 inches, sorry. The width is 13 and a half, 14 inches. And the depth, we're talking 8 inches, 7.5 to 8 inches. So with those dimensions, it'll fit on many airlines out there. And it does, the exception of the back section, it squishes. And we're going to check out the next one.
Okay, let's look at the WANDF. This is about $42 on Amazon. Sometimes you can get it on sale. I think right now it's $35 on sale. It is, it's supposed to be 30 liters, and it does have a small pocket here in the front to kind of keep your easy access items. Just sort of a plain pocket. Doesn't have a lining, and there's no extra pockets. You can actually see the salvage right there. There is a access area here, so you can put your portable charger in here and just string the cord through, which is kind of nice. It's got a wet area here to stow. There's enough room to stow like a bathing suit or an outfit that's still damp or wet. That's a nice feature. Then on the larger interior pocket, you are going to see that there's a couple of smaller pouches and then room for a couple of pens. And it does have a key strap here, so you can put your keys on here and not lose them. It is a nice gray lining, so it's a good color. It's pretty easy to find stuff. Unlike my backpack, this backpack opens like a suitcase. So it does open all the way. It makes it nice for packing. It does have a mesh pocket up top and then another pocket here for shoes or smaller items there. And it is one large open area. It does have elastic straps for a little bit of compression. So this does have a couple of straps. They're padded, so you can hold it here and you can hold it on the side here, which is nice. On the back, they have a trolley strap. You can also use that to hold the straps down. It does have some mesh here and here to keep things a little cooler. And this one has a nice hidden pocket back here. So it really sits at the bottom of your back. It would be pretty hard for somebody to get into and it is padded, so that makes it nice against your back. So if you're trying to keep something close, that might be a good section to do that in. It has water bottle sections here. It's a really lightweight fabric, so any moisture will probably wick through pretty well. And it is a little elasticy up top. It does fit my water bottle pretty well. I wonder how much this will stretch over time though with a heavy water bottle. Not sure about that. The other nice thing about this is it does have compression straps. So if you're trying to shrink it down so it'll fit under the seat more comfortably and you have the room, you can use the compression straps.
Our next backpack on the list is the Osprey Sojourn Porter 30-liter backpack. It's actually a travel backpack, not necessarily for everyday use. This one ran $175 on Amazon. So it's got a couple of straps. You open it up here. That's the first thing. Opens up in this huge section right there. And then when I open it up, let's take a look. It's got a front section, which right here. When you open this up, it has a zippered pouch inside. Seems pretty nice. You can put anything you want in there. Has some other little pockets to go in, as many of them do. This one has a nice mesh pocket right there. But aside from that, it's all open space right inside the front pocket. A couple of handles here as well. You want to lift it this way because it's meant to operate as either a backpack or a duffel. I'm going to show you that part here in a second as well. But then when we open up the large section with these zippers are very large and very strong. This one opens up like a mini suitcase. When you open it up, it's got a couple of compression straps, 1 and 2 inside. It also has a couple of pouches. One is mesh and the other is not. It does have, it has a nice carry handle right here. It doesn't have one of those security pockets in the back. There is, at the top, there is a, I guess you want to call it a security pocket, because you unzip it and you put everything in here, but it's this pouch right here inside. It has this like hook, like, how do I describe them? They can latch on, it slides up under here, and that's it. And seals up. So that's going to be hard to get at. I don't know. That would be hard for anybody to take anything out of that. And because it's right under the handle as well. It's directly under the handle. Yeah, as I mentioned, you had the compression inside. You can also latch them here if you have, let's say, a full duffel, a full bag. You can lift them like this, or you could seal it down. If, let's say, let's say that's about as packed as you were, you could seal it all the way down to that. And they'll latch into right here and here, and it allows you to pick it up here, carry it like a side bag. Now, it was mentioned that this is for a water bottle, but when I go like this, I'm like, that's about how it goes, like that. That's how you'd put your water bottle in there. I'm not a big fan of that, so I'm going to call out a con. It does have this airspace, so that's good for, say you won't sweat, but it does have a side pocket here. Let's see, here we go. So you can put your laptop right there, which also has this mesh pocket along with it. Now, for those who want to go on backpacking, you can open it up here and pull out these straps, hidden straps, 1 and 2. The straps are actually really well padded straps, and it has right here a pouch where you can pull out one, what do they call them, hip straps. One, and a second hip strap comes out here. Osprey says that this is 10.6 inches deep by 14.5 inches wide by 17 inches high.
This is the Thule Construct 28-liter backpack. As the name implies, it does have some construct to it. So I can push and I can bend it, but it takes a little bit of effort there. I do like that there's a compartment right up in the front, which is kind of sturdy. So that's a perfect place to put your eyeglasses, or anything that's kind of a little more sensitive. You can bend it, but it takes some effort. So that's where I'd put my glasses if I had this backpack. While the zippers seem sturdy, I will say they don't slide quite as well. There are some daisy chains here, so you can add some extra hooks or carabiners if you're using it for something other than airline flights. So that'd be a nice way to carry stuff around. There is a pocket right here that's pretty roomy. Then you get into the larger compartments. So the first one in the front is probably the largest stowage compartment. You can see it's got a nice light blue interior, so that makes it easy when you're trying to find stuff. There are a couple of pockets for organization, a deep one that runs about 3/4 of the way down the bag, and then some other smaller ones, great for cell phones or portable chargers, and then some loops for pens or pencils. Interestingly, there's 2 loops, but there isn't a bottom. So if you've got a pencil or something that doesn't have a little clip on it, I wonder if that's not going to fall down into the larger compartment. So that probably isn't fantastic. The largest area is for your laptop. It's supposed to fit a 15.6-inch laptop. Let's try mine, which is 15.6. And that will fit, but just there's a little room, but it's not huge. So you couldn't have a much larger one than that. But this is really well padded. I would say it's the best padded of the bunch. There is a mesh pocket here, so you could add your cords to that as well. And then another section for a tablet. And that tablet can't be any bigger. That's designed for a 10.5-inch tablet. So just keep that in mind if you're bringing both a laptop and a tablet with you. And then the rest of the compartment is just open. It's got really great padding. It does have probably the best padding, I think, of everything we've looked at. It does have a padded handle here, and then the straps are really well constructed, adjustable, and seem like they'd be really comfortable. There's a pocket here, which would fit my water bottle, and I would say mine's kind of a medium water bottle. It's not the largest of the bunch for sure. It does have the ability to compress it a little bit with these straps. They're not as easy to... Clearly, I am not Vanna White. These are not as easy as you'd think, but it does compress the top. They don't have compression straps towards the bottom, however. On this side, you've got another pocket. Again, I don't love these zippers. And you could fit another water bottle over here. However, the mesh only goes up a little way, and so you'd have to zip it up. And I don't love these pockets for water bottles. If you're carrying something else that you just need on the side, this could be great, but I wouldn't put my water bottle in there. I think if it was top heavy at all, it would just keep falling over. It does also have a trolley strap. It's kind of tight, which my only concern would be if I filled this bag, I wonder if I wouldn't have a hard time getting that over my handle on my carry-on bag. Let's try and do some measurements now. We've got From bottom to top of handle, it's about 20 inches. Then side to side, we're at about 12 if we don't include the water bottle. And deep, we're at 6 inches on the main, and then when we add in this front pocket, I'm going to say we're going to go to 8. It does have a shape where it's smaller on the top than it is on the bottom, and when this is out all the way, it also kind of slopes this way. So let's get Michael in here. Let's see if we can make a decision on what we think we're going to be taking for our Disney trip. We hope that going through these backpacks in detail has been helpful to you, either picking out something that might work for you or at least comparing it to some other items that you're looking at for a new travel backpack. We're going to go through these now and talk about whether these are right for us and which ones we'll be keeping. So let's start with the Osprey. What'd you think?
I think it is too much like a backpacker's backpack. That's not what I was looking for, so it's off my list.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree. I think it's a little too structured, which is nice if you're carrying it over long periods. Again, if you're doing some sort of a long hike or that sort of thing, it's probably great. But for my purposes, trying to do just small bag travel, this is not a good fit for me. So I'm going to take it and down we go. All right, let's do Thule.
Okay.
All right. What'd you think?
Okay, well, this one I did like, but I will say once again, it's very bulky, and I feel it's too bulky for my needs.
Okay. This was a contender for me because I really liked the hard shell up here. Because I wear glasses all the time, this is a nice feature for me to have a little extra protection for those. And I like kind of the size of it. But ultimately, I didn't like where I would put my water bottles. And I didn't feel like the zippers, although they do feel sturdy and pretty well made, they aren't smooth. And that would get annoying for me after a while. So that one's off the table. Literally.
So you
were supposed to laugh. I said literally off the table.
Okay.
Sometimes I gotta explain it to him.
And so the WANDF, that's the next one. What are your thoughts?
Honestly, it's not very expensive. You can't expect a $300 backpack for $40. But I don't feel like it's particularly well made. You could see the salvage on the inside. It's not lined. From a feature point of view, I don't like the full open suitcase sort of thing. I prefer it to be more like a traditional backpack. It doesn't have a good spot for my water bottle. This is here, but I don't like this fabric, and I feel like it might get droopy after a while. So anyway, this one's not for me.
Okay. And I'm going to say the same thing in this case. I don't like the way it opens like a suitcase. I want to be able to grab something out of it. You can't really do that with this.
Got it. Okay.
The Cotopaxi product. This one, it's a fine everyday bag, but the truth is, I already have one. And
not a Cotopaxi.
Not a Cotopaxi.
He's got an everyday bag.
I have an everyday. Yes, that's a good point. I have an everyday bag, not a Cotopaxi. But the reality is, I already have this, so why would I replace it at that point?
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty well constructed, and if I needed an everyday bag, I'd certainly consider something like this. But for travel purposes, I think I'm going to pass on this too.
Okay. Oh, we're going to go like this now. Okay.
Well, you can put your hair in a clip, but you didn't need it.
There you go.
So I didn't find anything better to replace it. And so I'm going to stick with my Lovevook bag. And again, I can highly recommend it to everybody who's looking for sort of an everyday and a travel bag. With a travel bag in mind, though, the only downside is this is fairly small. It's only about 23 liters. So I've always used it as a personal item to go along with my carry-on. We'll see if I can fit everything in here to travel with. That may or may not work, but I think I'm going to stick with this right now for my travel bag.
Yep. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I travel for work anyway, and this bag has gone with me everywhere in the 8 years I've had it. And so really it's the same thing. Of the ones we looked at, the contenders, none of them really stepped up to this. I know it's just an everyday bag. I get that it's missing a couple of items the others had, but this has met my needs for a long time, and a very good point made. Everywhere I've traveled, I've had a carry-on with me. We're going to find out if this works without a carry-on.
So we were looking at backpacks that were under $200. If we had gone to a different price point, we might have found a bag that we liked better. If there's a $400 backpack out there that does the trick, maybe that'll be in a future video. But for right now, based on our price point, we're sticking with our tried and trues.
That's right. These are the ones that work. See you next time.
Thanks for watching. Take care.
Bye.